Hey everyone, welcome to PM Sport Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host Preston, alongside my father Mike. How are we doing today, Dad?
I'm doing great. There's some interesting things going on in the world of baseball this week. Let's get into it.
I'm excited to get into that too. Let's get into it. So, we got the Mets moving their two star pitchers, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander.
Yeah, that was a surprise. A lot of people expected Scherzer to be traded because he's been kind of so-so for them, especially last year in the playoffs. He spit the bit. But I didn't see Verlander getting traded. I thought they were going to keep him for next year.
Yep.
And, of course, he goes to the Astros, back to where he was. So, basically, Astros, he signed with the Mets for this big contract, and now they trade him to Houston. So Houston's basically, and Mets are going to end up paying like over half of that contract. So Houston's getting this great pitcher for basically, half of what they should be paying for him. So that it's like what a win for that organization once again.
Yeah, it seems like the Astros just don't go away, do they?
No, they just keep on. They're not my favorite team, that's for sure, because what they always seem to beat are Yankees. And this move probably makes them the favorite in the American League. I think the Braves are the favorite overall, but they're definitely the favorite in the American League.
Yeah. What about the Texas Rangers, though? Aren't they winning the division right now?
They're still winning it. I think they're a half a game ahead, maybe full game. I think just half, though. They got Scherzer. Scherzer went there, and but I don't think he's going to have the impact that Verlander is going to have. I could be wrong, but he's been okay this year. But Verlander, after he came back, after he was injured there, came back, and he's really been on fire. His ERA is like under 2 for most of the last 7-8 starts. And he just beat the Yankees last week when he was playing for the Mets. He dominated them. So he's pitching against them today.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, now that he's an Astro, of course. We'll see, but that's got to make them the favorite, right? Scherzer's going to help the Rangers because he's been there. He's got the experience and stuff, but I don't think he's going to put them over the top like Verlander will for Houston. Yankees got a chance there. This is a big series for the Yankees. They won the first game. The Astros won last night, so the series is 1-1. So now the Yankees have to win the next two, I think, or their playoffs. Their playoff chances are pretty low as it is. So they got to win the next 2 games against Houston and try to keep pace with Toronto for that last playoff spot.
Yes, absolutely. The Yankees, they're starting to show us a little bit of hope as they won a game in the Astros series, and they actually dominated in that game against Tampa, last game of the series.
Yeah, I mean, that was a game that Cole pitched. He's been dominant all year. He's probably going to win the Cy Young this year. He's been just excellent. And too bad the rest of the team wasn't half as good as he is. But
nope.
Yeah, so they're showing signs of life. No coincidence that happened when Judge came back. He really changes that lineup for them. We'll see if it's too little too late, though. I mean, Stanton's homered his last 3 games. He's on a tear again. He's like that, though. He'll go good for a week, and then the next week he'll be horrible. So let's see what happens with him. Like we said last week, the playoffs are just better with the Yankees in it, so maybe they can make a late season run here. But that Verlander trade, that's the big news, and that puts Houston as the clear-cut favorite in the American League.
Yeah, something we didn't mention that during this Yankees game, Nestor Cortez is back. He's on a pitch restriction, so pitch count. Matt Blake in an interview said they're limiting him to about 50, 60 pitches. But today he's playing phenomenal. In his first game back right now, he's played 3 innings so far, only let up 1 hit, 1 run, and he has 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's a great sign to see because their starting pitching has been bad other than Cole. Severino got bombed again last night, so maybe with bringing Nestor back, maybe they can put Severino in the bullpen there.
Please.
They can't start him again. He's just been horrible.
He can't be. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand why they can't play him. You might have to now with Herman, being out due to the AA. I mean, I don't know. Maybe bring up somebody from the farm league, minors, something. I don't want to see Severino on that mound as a starter again this season.
No, they can't. If they want to make the playoffs, he cannot start another game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he progressively gets bad during the game. It's the very first inning of every game he gets bombed. So the game is over. They have no chance.
He doesn't make an impact at all. You get right away he gets bombed.
Yeah, he makes a negative impact. So, yeah, he cannot start. No way. If they start him, then I don't know what's going on there. They're going to, like we said before, if they don't make the playoffs, there's got to be some changes there with the management, with the manager and the GM and all that. And this right here is one of the reasons why. It's so frustrating when you're watching this team and they just send the same guy out start after start, that he's horrible and just hope that he's going to get better. He's not. You have to change something up. You have to put him in the bullpen, change things up for him, make it different for him. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting the same result.
Yeah, Severino, I couldn't agree more with that. He has been absolutely horrible, but bullpen might be the answer for the rest of this season, something, or just don't play him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, I would put him in the bullpen, put him in a game that you're way ahead or you're way behind, and see what he does. That way he doesn't affect the game, just to get him maybe back on track. That's what you can do. That's about all you can do at this point in the season. You have to. This is like they're like basically in the playoffs now. Every game is so important for this team.
Right now, yes.
They can't afford to just throw him out there and just throw away games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they got to do. And we'll see what happens. It's unlikely they're going to make it, but, that's just the way it's gone this year for this team.
Well, Dad, look at this. I just want to point out before I say these stats, though, this whole Severino thing has started like all the way back in June when he played that Dodgers series, if you remember. That first inning, he was playing absolutely terrible. But this last game against the Orioles in that series may have been the worst it has been, this whole Severino thing. He played 3 innings, 3.1 to be exact, 10 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Yes. That should be like over 3 games, not 3 innings.
Yeah.
That's absolutely horrible. That's it's almost hard to believe that he could be that bad.
How do you give up 9 runs in 3 innings, and let alone 10 hits?
I don't get it. It just he even said after the last game that he's like, I feel like the worst pitcher in baseball. Well, I can tell you from a fan's perspective, you are the worst pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, you are.
Now.
Yeah,
right now you are.
You're terrible.
And I don't understand it because last year he was pretty good.
Well, last night it got even worse. 4 innings played, 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's you can't explain it. I didn't watch the game last night, but I watched some of the I watched his highlights, and some of the pitches that they were hitting, weren't really that bad of pitches. It's almost like he's predictable because the pitches weren't like they were down the middle and they were hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those pitches were on the corner, each side, and they were still hitting them for home runs and just hitting them. And part of me is wondering is he tipping pitches or something. I haven't heard anybody say that yet, but how are they on every pitch? I mean, those pitches were 96 miles an hour, and they were just hitting them like he was just lobbing them up there.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I didn't see the last game before that, so I can't comment on that one. But this one, yeah, he's either got real bad luck or they're tipping because he has good stuff. This guy has good stuff. It's very bizarre that he could be getting hit this much.
Well, in that Orioles game, the Astros game, you do bring up a good point. He's not throwing them right down the middle for them to have easy hits. It's not bad location. It's just like he's almost predictable.
That's
like
what I think it is. I think it's predictable.
I think he could be tipping pitches. That could be a possibility. But in that Orioles game, those 9 runs over 3 innings, 6 of them came in the first, and also 6 of them came in the first inning before recording an out. Yep, that's it. 0 outs, 6 runs.
That's unbelievable. And this has been happening game after game. This is
Mm-hmm.
like the 4th game in a row this has happened.
It's not like it's new. It's been happening over and over again. Like I said, it happened all the way back in June when we went to LA to play the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's like they're, like we said earlier, it's like they're just hoping he's going to get back to where he was or where they think he should be, but it's not going to happen this year. So they got to move on, and that's it. That's all they can do. They try to fix him for next year, maybe, or maybe this is it for him.
The thing with Aaron Boone and whoever's making those lineup cards, for a long time when we were in that draw of losing so much last month, they wouldn't switch the lineup card. They would have the same batters in the same spot like it was going to make a difference.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense. It's like they're just hoping for things to change. Because it worked last year, they're like, well, eventually it's gonna work. Well, if it doesn't work, you gotta change things up, right? So we did find out that Anthony Rizzo has been suffering from concussion symptoms, syndrome, from a hit back in May.
When they played the Padres.
He collided with Tatis.
Yeah.
And if that is true, and he's just been trying to work through that will explain him, because I've dealt with that myself in the past, and those things linger for months. So that could be him, because I just don't believe he's a good hitter and he's just been horrible. So that makes sense. But if they knew that,
it's not a good look for the training staff.
No, why didn't they
just take him out?
I mean, I guess it's another one of those things where he kept telling them he was fine, maybe, because he wanted to be out there, but obviously he wasn't. So they made the change. So, but if they took him out earlier, maybe he could have recovered quicker. I don't know. Those things are tough. There's no concussion syndrome that can last for months. It can be good in a week. You just don't know. So hopefully he gets better, and we'll see if he makes it back in the lineup this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up with this Yankees segment. But now, this is what we've been planning for all week, haven't we?
Absolutely. This is what everybody wants to talk about. I think we're all a little baseballed out, so let's get
baseballed out. Let's do some NFL, guys. But last week, if you remember, if you tuned in, we previewed the AFC East: Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Patriots. Now, our next division is the AFC North, with the
our favorite division:
Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, this is a division that you and I pay the most attention to. Obviously, with the Steelers there. I think, I'm not the only one saying this, I've heard a lot of experts say this, that this is by far the best division in football this year. Other people might argue the AFC East, but no, I think it's this one, because all 4 teams in this division could have a chance to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The AFC East, New England's not going to make the playoffs. But this division, all 4 teams they're very good. A lot of people have the Steelers as last, but they're not saying they're going to be bad. They're saying they're going to win like 9 games. So if your last place team in the division wins 9 games, then that's one heck of a division.
Absolutely. But let's take a look at your predictions first for the records.
Absolutely.
We got in first place for you the Bengals at 12-5. We got the Steelers at 10-7 for you. We've got the Browns at 9-8 in third place. And then the Ravens at 8-9 in last place.
Yeah, I've got the Bengals in first because of the quarterback, and a lot of that is going to depend on his health. That could change if that calf injury is a nagging injury, but if it's not, he's by far the best quarterback in this division.
Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Last year he threw for 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He threw for over 4,500 yards. He doubled the output of any of the other starting quarterbacks in that division. That's much better he was than all the other 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Granted, Deshaun Watson only played 6 games. Not really fair, and he hadn't played in 2 years. So, but Lamar Jackson, he missed games. He only played 12 games last year.
Yep.
And Pickett, rookie for Pittsburgh. You only expect so much out of a rookie. He played 13 games. You're not going to expect him to be great. But he picked it up as the season went on, as he got more used to the NFL. So that's why I got the Bengals in first. And then the Steelers, I got them second because I think they've got a good team this year. I think Pickett's going to surprise a lot of people. I really think he's going to be good. Their offensive line, they picked up Nate Herbeck. They drafted the rookie out of, it's escaping me right now. Where did he come from again?
Broderick Jones?
Broderick Jones, Georgia. How could I forget that? Yeah, Broderick Jones out of Georgia. He's fighting for that left tackle spot. I don't know if he's going to win that spot. I think he will as the year goes on. I don't know if he's going to start. I haven't heard much out of training camp how he's doing. They haven't really said much. Still a little early. But at the very minimum, he gives them a lot of depth because there's always injuries on that offensive line. And so now you're going to have a lot of depth. Mm-hmm. And when somebody gets hurt, you're going to have a good person to go in there. So that running game should be good.
So we've signed the Eagles guard Isaac Sumalo.
Yep. Yes, he's going to be he was very good for the Eagles last year. That's an upgrade, big time upgrade. So I expect this offensive line to be quite a bit better than last year. And if they are, and they protect Pickett, I think he's going to be pretty good. And, they've got the weapons with Pickens and Deontay Johnson. And now they got Washington from Georgia as a backup tight end to Freiermuth. Yeah, so that's going to be I think that could be a really good offense. Of course, a lot of that is predicated on the coordinator, too. We all know who that is.
Matt Canada.
Let's hope that his system with these players finally clicks.
Hopefully. And yeah, Matt Canada has been a struggle and a headache for Steelers fans, to say the least. And yeah, that's what I think that's what you think for Pittsburgh at 10-7. How about these Ravens and Browns in the 9-8, 8-9 spot?
Yeah, the Browns is an interesting one. A lot of people have them being really good. The only reason I don't have them, I have them winning 9 games and not winning, like 10 or 11, is I'm not sure on Deshaun Watson yet. I think he's going to struggle at the beginning of the year because he just hasn't played enough games.
Okay.
So I do expect him to get better as the year goes on. So by the end of the year, they could be a very good team. But I don't know if they're going to have the opportunity to win enough games. That's the only reason I have them winning. Now, if he's like he was 3 years ago, right from the get-go, well, then they're going to make me look wrong because they'll probably win, 11 games.
Yeah.
But that's a big if. We don't know what we're getting from him. So that's where I got them. I think their defense is going to be good. They got a lot of players. Mm-hmm. Of course, the offensive line is good. They're going to run the ball with Chubb.
Yeah, Chubb.
He's probably the best running back in the division.
He's either the best running back or second best running back in football, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. And then you got the Ravens. I'm just not sold on Lamar Jackson. I don't see him making it through the full season. He hasn't done it. The last 2 years he's been hurt. Like I said, he only played 12 games last year. How many games is he going to play this year? That's the key to them. And I think the league has caught up to his style. His rushing attack, each year the yards have gone down.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're going to change his style too. I mean, don't they have to do something there? Because if he keeps getting hurt, are they going to just keep calling these plays for him to run the ball all the time? I'm very interested to see what the Ravens' philosophy is there. Mm-hmm. And they got Odell Beckham. He hasn't played since the Super Bowl?
Since this
2 years ago?
Yes, Super Bowl. What was the Super Bowl this year? 56, 57?
Yeah, so the one before that.
The one before that, he played. That's the last time he played. That's the last time he stepped on a football field.
So he didn't play at all last year, and he's not young anymore. So I don't know what you're going to get out of him. Is he going to be as good as he was for the Rams? I doubt it.
We'll just have to see. I mean, Odell is really unpredictable. Like with the Browns, he was not that good. Went to the Rams, he played pretty well.
But he's not the guy he was
no.
with the Giants.
Absolutely not. No,
he's not that game breaker.
No.
They picked up the rookie Zay Flowers.
Yes, I like Zay Flowers, to be honest. I think if any of you fantasy football fans watching and looking for some tips, I think Zay Flowers is a good pick because, he's probably I think he should be wide receiver 1 in that offense because I don't know, you probably won't get much out of Odell in my opinion, so Zay Flowers might be wide receiver 1 in that offense.
Yeah, and of course the tight end is probably their big weapon. So
Mark Andrews.
He's been very productive, so I wouldn't expect him to be productive again. So they have some players, but I think it all comes down to Lamar and how they're going to play. And then you got Dobbins, the running back. There's talk he might hold out. He wants to get paid more, so who knows? That's why I've got them at only 8 wins because there's a lot of factors there. I'm just not sure which way they're going to go. That's the thing there. There's some unpredictable players. Deshaun Watson for Cleveland and Lamar for Baltimore. I think there are question marks with those 2 guys. I mean, they could be really good, and so those predictions I've got will be wrong. Or if they're what they've been last year, and Lamar the last couple years, then I think I'm right on with those.
Those are some pretty well-thought predictions. I appreciate those great explanations. Now I'm going to get into where I think these AFC North teams will stand. We got a couple disagreements, but most of them are right on. I agree with you. I don't think the Ravens are going to be that good this year. In fact, I have them going 7-10.
Yeah, I'm worse than me. So,
the schedule for the Ravens, and plus if we're unsure on Lamar and how tough the schedule is for every team in this division, just imagine how bad the Ravens are going to be. I mean, I think I have in my schedule predictions, I had them losing to Seattle, LA, Chargers.
Yeah, they've got some tough games. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati have the 2 toughest schedules of the teams in the division because Cincinnati plays Kansas City and Buffalo.
Yep.
Where the other teams in the division don't. So, but we both have. I think you have Cincinnati winning the division, right?
No,
you don't. Oh, so there's where we disagree. All right, I'll let you go.
I have the Steelers in 3rd place, but I also have a 10-7. I think Pickett is going to have a bounce back year, but this team is still pretty young, so I don't know if they'll have what it takes to be first in this division or second even, but I think they're still going to do pretty solid, 10-7, and they're going to place 3rd in the division. Second, the Cincinnati Bengals, 11-6. I think the Bengals are what they are. Joe Burrow, obviously we know him. Joe Mixon is going to be RB1 in that offense, and we've seen what he can do. And that defense is pretty solid. They got some young stars in that secondary, and their pass rush is pretty good with Hendrickson. And they can get past offensive lines. Their defense is going to be good enough to back up their really great offense. But at number 1, I indeed have the Cleveland Browns.
A lot of people do.
I am on the Deshaun Watson train. I think Deshaun Watson is going to go back to his old. I don't know if he'll go back quite to his old self, but he's going to be very solid. He's got some great weapons, Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb, in my opinion, the best running back in football. He is going to run all over defenses. If it's not Chubb, he's behind McCaffrey and the running backs in the league, but no doubt the best running back in this division.
By far, yeah.
And Amari Cooper, of course, as I mentioned, I think him and Watson can hook up. One guy that I think is going to break out, a young star for this team, if he gets the right playing time. He's made some good impact, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, he had some big catches last year. He really impressed me. Yeah, I could see that, especially with Watson getting more familiar with him. Yeah, you could be right on with the Browns. A lot of people have them winning 12 games. And like you said, if it's all up to Watson, I think the rest of the team is there. So if he plays close to what he's capable of, then yeah, they could win 12 games.
So yeah, that's my pretty much my division predictions. Let's do a little recap though. So a comparison, your division, you have the Bengals 12-5 first place, Steelers 10-7 second place, Ravens 8-9 last place, Browns 9-8 third place, and then I have the Browns in first place 12-5, Bengals second place 11-6, third place Steelers 10-7, and fourth place Ravens 7-10.
Yeah, I could see it going either way. I mean, like I said, the NFL is very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it all depends on injuries and stuff. So, yeah, but it's all key to the quarterback as usual. Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. If those guys can play like they did when they were really good, then those teams will be successful. And if they don't, well, then those teams won't be. It's just that simple.
I agree there. Yeah. Let's see. The division is going to be very stacked, as you said.
Now, do you think? Do you have the Steelers in the playoffs, or you have them just missing it? It's gonna be hard to get.
I don't think I can. I don't know if I can do that. I did this on website as we were talking about, but we didn't do all the teams, so I can't really. I don't know. But if I were to say, I'd say the Steelers, with this how stacked the AFC is, I'd say they missed the playoffs, just barely though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard in the AFC. You might have to have 11 wins to get in. I mean, I guess it depends on how much they beat up each other, but yeah, the whole AFC is stacked. There's probably about 10 teams fighting for 7 spots.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if a team wins 10 games and they don't make it in the playoffs. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah. We saw, but I want to point out one thing. The Browns did play in the Hall of Fame game. This is one thing I want to talk about real quick. Since we're on the AFC North topic, I saw Kellen Mond versus Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I saw a big difference. Right now, I think Kellen Mond's second on that depth chart. After that game, and if it continues to be like that game, I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson should be backing up Deshaun Watson.
They're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
Their styles.
Mm-hmm. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, though, I don't know if you watched the game. I don't think you watched.
I didn't see all of it.
But
no.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson looked like an absolute veteran. He was avoiding sacks. His improvisation wasn't amazing. And he was even throwing his body on the line for blocks. And even one of those led to a touchdown. He threw for a couple. I think he threw for 1 touchdown. His throws looked great. He just looked great in general. And I think that if it continues to be that way in preseason, I think Thompson-Robinson should already be backing up Deshaun Watson.
Could go that way.
Because Mond, if you watched him, I think you were watching some of the beginning of the game, correct?
Yeah, I saw the beginning of the game.
Mond, his passes were very inaccurate. He did throw for a touchdown, but his passing was not that great. He threw for 42 yards only. I'm pretty sure when I was looking at his stats.
You got to keep in mind though that he was going probably against better players than Thompson was.
That's true, but
it's hard to gauge. But yeah, energy level, I bet you could see the big difference in energy level between the two players.
Yeah,
and like you said, he's Dorian Thompson. His play is very close to Deshaun Watson. If you remember when Deshaun Watson came out, how he played the game.
At Clemson?
Yeah, very similar styles.
Yes.
And probably similar in size, too, players.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe Thompson's a little taller, but they're pretty similar in size.
Yeah, so if you want a backup that can run the same offense as your starter, so that wouldn't be a big shock to me if he was the backup.
Yeah, I agree. And
we all know how important backups are in the NFL, right?
Yes.
There's always a starter getting hurt.
Injuries, yes.
You got to have a good backup.
And especially with Watson, who loves to scramble, it's very common that scramblers get injured.
It wouldn't be a big surprise for him to miss a couple games during the season. So, yeah, you want a good backup.
Well, Dad, that's going to wrap up our AFC North talk, and it's time to get into Plays of the Week.
Absolutely. I've got one for you. It seems like I'm always picking the Yankees, but I got another one because Harrison Bader, after he steals second, this was Thursday night against the Astros. After he steals second, they're tied at 3-3. Anthony Volpe comes up, gets a huge 2-out RBI single, puts the Yankees ahead, winning run. They go on to close out the game and win 4-3, and what we hope will be the start of a playoff run.
Absolutely. And mine is from the Hall of Fame game, Browns versus Jets. Dorian Thompson-Robinson hands off to Demetric Felton Jr. Felton's on the run. He's about to get tackled, but coming out of nowhere, Dorian Thompson-Robinson throws a block, and Felton runs in for the touchdown, and that would lead to a Browns comeback in the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, it's so awesome that we have football going on again. It just brings a whole new excitement to the sporting world.
Absolutely. That, unfortunately, Dad, is going to close our podcast, though. Any predictions for this week?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Yankees, they're going to win the next 2 games against the Astros and keep this thing going.
Myself, I don't really know any. I don't think I have any predictions, but I'll say the Yankees win tonight or today in the game going on against the Astros. I have no idea the score right now, but I'm going to say that the Yankees will pull it out and win against the new, quote-unquote, new pitcher, Verlander.
The new old-look Astros?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that, unfortunately, people, is going to close our show. Thank you all for watching, and you can always hit us up on our email, pmsporttalk@gmail.com. Anything you want to talk about, any topics. Big thing to look forward to. Follow our Instagram and our Twitter, X, whatever it is now. I think they switched it, but PM Sport Talk on Twitter. It's just PM Sport Talk. But on Instagram, you got PM_sport_talk, and we are going to be starting to post on our stories and tweet out some topics that we are going to say on our podcast, and you can throw out any thoughts and we will shout you out and talk about it. So that is going to close our show. Have a great weekend and week, and we will see you on the next episode of PM Sport Talk. Hey, if you like what you see, you can subscribe down below, and you can listen to our podcast at any time. And also, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at pmsporttalk@gmail.com. Also coming soon is a website. Thank you all for listening. Have a good one.